Mickey, initial impressions of this. I saw you watching from the entryway over there.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. We really appreciate all these fans coming in from New York and supporting what we're trying to do. It's going to be something special.
So listen, Mickey, obviously this is a first go-round for you, manager of a team. How's this been going so far?
You know what, it's been wonderful. Our guys have been really working hard. You know, we had to pull back a little bit today because they've been working so hard. And, you know, it's just been a tremendous feeling, and to be around the energy. And, you know, I think everybody knows that we're going to try to accomplish something special.
Has any one thing stood out to you, just from a personal perspective? You've been in the league, you've been a coach, but just the difference in spring training as a manager?
So, you know, when I was the pitching coach, lining up the pitching for spring training is probably the most difficult job in the world. So, you know, I kind of find myself not knowing what to do. I have a lot more free time than I did otherwise, but no, it's been really good. You know, it allows me time to go and touch base with guys and get to know guys a little bit better. So I'm always trying to utilize that free time to get to know one of the players a little bit better.
Well, to that end, I wanted to talk to you about your philosophy as a manager, and sure, that will develop a little bit, but one of the key words that we've been hearing from basically every player is communication when it comes to you and your coaching staff. Can you take us through your philosophy on how you communicate with the players and how that formed?
Well, you know what, I think that we need to know these players and as people, so performers and, you know, what they do off the field. And, you know, I think that if you can build that relationship, when you're trying to do something really good, you get buy-in, and they know that you're doing it so they can be the best player they can possibly be. So, you know, every time we try to implement something, we're doing it for a purpose, and a deliberate purpose. And to have their buy-in is going to help us be better and better every day.
Who have you drawn from when you come up with this? Is this something that, as a player, you saw and said, okay, I either like this or I want this? Or is it more something, you've been around some pretty impressive managers and sat next to Tito Francona for a while. Is it more something you drew from those guys? Yeah,
I think it's something I drew from all of the coaches that I've ever had. You know, whether it was a Little League coach all the way to my Major League managers. I think it's important to, you know, value people for their qualities. And I knew what I liked. I knew what my teammates liked, and you try to put all that together. You know, I think I took something from everybody.
It's something that is almost intangible when you talk about building the communication and the clubhouse culture. In your experience, how can that lead to tangible results? How much can that make a difference, wins and losses wise?
It's essential for wins and losses. I mean, if you want to be the best group you can possibly be and perform at that highest level that this group can possibly perform, then we have to do things together. We all have to be pulling in the same direction. We all have to hold each other accountable. If we have issues, we have to bring them to light and get them resolved so we can move on and be the best that we can possibly be.
Now, Mickey, you manage your first official game tomorrow. Spring training, but you still manage your first official game tomorrow. You were speaking a little bit about that earlier, how, you know, for you it's a spring training of sorts as well. What are the types of things that you're looking at and you're going to try and learn about throughout this process here in spring?
Well, right now, for me personally, you know, I'm going to have to look at the game in a different way than I always have. You know, I can't just lock in on that pitcher, batter, you know, battle that's going on. So, you know, I'm going to really hone in on, you know, what's going on situationally. So, you know, I'll have Gary DiSarcina on my left side saying, hey, you need to be thinking about this. And I'll have Dave Island, the pitching coach, on my right side, and we'll be discussing things that we want to see with these pitchers, you know, attacking the zone, being able to control the running game. And we're going to really value the small things. We're going to try to go first to third. We're going to be very aggressive with that in spring training. Balls in the dirt, we're going to try to take that lead base. So, you know, it should be fun. There's going to be a lot of energy, and we're working on things in spring training to get better.
You know, to that last point, we've seen teams utilize good base running to make up for lack of speed in areas. I mean, you look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they do have some speedy guys, but, you know, a guy like Paul Goldschmidt is one of the best base runners in the league without that speed. So when you look at this Mets team, not a ton of speed there, but it is something that you guys are going to try and push in other aspects.
Absolutely. You know, I think that we can be a championship base running team. And that's what Ruben Amaro, who is kind of running our, spring training base running, he is every day he's instilling that in these guys, and we're taking it very serious. So we're working on that daily, because you're talking about having to go 60 feet or 120 feet. Speed doesn't matter that much in a short distance. So if you can get an extra step in your secondary, you can beat even the fastest guy because you get a better jump.